What's up? I got them glasses on. I don't even like these glasses. I just happen to have them in my house. It's not even sunny outside, but moving along. All right, I got 3 days and just 5 days until vacation starts. Pretty excited, man. I just been working and working and working and working. Right now I'm walking to work. But yeah. Oh man, so much has happened. I want to make a proper video, but I get home at like 9 o'clock and I try to do some stuff and I fall asleep because just working all the time. But next week when I'm on vacation, I'll start doing some little videos and what have you. But today I was thinking, let me take you on a walk to work with me. So this is I never showed this part of my neighborhood because I never walked this way. But when I started walking to work, I tried all different ways. This way is nice, scenic, no hills. Yeah. Oh man. All right. So what's new with me? Let's see here. I've been MIA from social media. I haven't posted. I stopped using Facebook a long time ago. I mean, I need it because, well, I don't want to say I need it, but I'm on it because I think some of my social sites are connected to it. It makes it easy to log in. But I haven't posted on there. I think the last thing I posted was it's my birthday. And I think my Instagram just goes through it anyway. But I don't post directly. I don't be checking on it. On my rhyming guide on Instagram, I think the last thing I posted there was maybe 6 weeks ago. Actually, the reason I got these glasses is because I did a video for this artist in Colombia. And they like, can you wear some glasses? So I went to the secondhand shop and found these things. That's why I got them. Let me get my secondhand use out of them. Speaking of secondhand, I sold my MPC. For those who know what an MPC, the big drum machine I was walking around with, carried that shit up to Mount Fuji. Yeah, I sold it. Cause I was carrying it around and my back started hurting. So I started to hold it. Then my shoulders started, it's like, what, 7 pounds or some shit? I don't know. It's heavy to just be carrying it like that. And, you know, when I would take it out when I'm on the train, but it's such a hassle to unzip it from the little bag and then put it back in the bag and then carry it and then. So then I got my iPad and around Christmas. So I stopped carrying it. I started slowly becoming reaccustomed to the iPad way of making beats. Because, you know, you got the pads on the actual thing and now you're touching glass. And it was hard. But now I'm back. I mean, I guess it takes me about 6 months to learn or relearn. Learn machines and all that. So yeah, I sold the MPC. I sold all my little MIDI controllers. I mean, I have others, but recently I've been really curious or interested in MPE and Bluetooth controllers. So I got a whole bunch of those. So I sold all the regular ones. And what else happened? It was hard at first. I didn't want to sell it. But once I sold it and the money was in my account, this is the first time I'm thinking about it. So I sold all that. Started reading some books. Right after my album flopped, after it didn't do what I thought it would, I was curious. Maybe I'm not good at writing songs, which that part's not true. But you can always get better. So I started reading songs on song structure. I started listening to the history of pop music. Started just all types of stuff. And then that led me to chords. Like a basic song structure is 1 1 1 4 5 1, maybe. But you know the the typical one at the, what I forget the YouTube thing, but there's this YouTube video where they do like 100 songs that all use the same chord progression, pop progression. So I started playing with that, and it just enlightened me. It gave me all these, wow. Because now I was in brass band, but they call it brass band in Japan. I was in the orchestra. I was in chorus. I took drum. So I know what music is, and I always pick up a music book here and there. I got my little ebooks, but it never made sense to me, you know? So if you listen to most of my songs, they're probably in the key of C or A minor. And it just kind of float around there. But then just this one little book, I mean, it's everything, but sevenths, ninths, susses. I heard them before, I just didn't know what it meant. So then I got all these like applications and programs where I could just push a button and it'll play a seventh, a ninth, an inverted. And I get to hear it and like, okay. I like how that sounds. I don't like that one. And then I got all these apps that will auto-generate chords. I got MIDI packs. But at the same time, I'm also sitting there at my little keyboard and playing out chords like, okay, that sounds nice. But I haven't really had time to sit down and do this because, as I said, I'm always working, or I'm going to work. So it's just a lot of theory in my head. I reworked my I'm just gonna be all over the place for now. But if you're using Beatmaker, it's an app. It's basically like an MPC. It's better than the MPC app in my opinion. You need to have a system because that shit is glitchy. I love it. That's my main one. But you'll be like doing something and it'll just, or a sample will just disappear, which is crazy because it's inside of the iPad. It's not like it's on some hard drive. Some samples will be there, some won't. So I reworked the whole system, and I got a workflow, which is basically I'll be like, bump, 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 save, bump, 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 save, dun, 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 save, cough, save. You just got to get into that. I mean, it auto saves, but you just can't trust that. You just got to save. I reworked my sample. But this is another thing that I recently came across. The shit I be doing, I don't know who the hell is really, like, I don't know if people are like, I know what you're talking about, man. And it's kind of, like, I reworked all my samples. I put them into, I put all my samples. I don't use samples anymore because I just don't feel like uploading something to any site and have them say, you don't own this, copyright strike and all that shit. So I use sample libraries, and I started getting into sample packs where you gotta license them, which is hella confusing. I sent an email to a couple of the companies. I'm like, listen, I'm new to this. What happens if I sell the sample to someone else who doesn't report back to me? Am I legally responsible? And I got one that was like, man, you're getting into the weeds. I don't know what that means. The other one's like, man, you should be good, man. Just, it's here. Just make your music be good. That it's a lot of legal talk, and I'm not a lawyer, so. But that's worrying about the bridge before you build the road. I don't know. So yeah, so all my shit's gonna be legal, and I had to put those in order. Cause at one point I had them all mixed, so I had to unseparate them again, put them in the folders, but unfold the folders because I don't want to be going through folders on an iPad. That's annoying. So that's all the iPad workflow, and then I upgraded Ableton Live, and I upgraded my native instruments. So I was like, shit. So now I'm back on the computer again, because for a minute I wasn't even touching the computer. But the iPad's cool, but the computer is way faster. So now I'm back on there, and on and on. So as I'm saying, I don't know anyone who's on that journey, but yeah, the music. Outside of the music, I managed to save this month, which is crazy. Crazy. I mean, I work a lot. But as I was saying way back when, I had to pay taxes. Taxes over. So now that money, I'm just saving it for a rainy day. However, it rains every day, so I'm not sure if I'm allowed to use that money. I don't know. What else? Work. Work is cool, I guess. Work is work. I don't know. It's crazy because I used to work at a factory lifting heavy ass plastic, making plastic cups. You know those red cups that those of you who drink and do ping pong and all that? I used to make those cups. And when the machine, wow, you see that earthquake? It was an earthquake. When the machine breaks, we have to roll the plastic. And, the plastic keeps rolling. Eventually it gets really heavy where one person can't roll the plastic alone. And also, while you're rolling the plastic on this metal thing like this, it generates electricity and it shocks you. And you can actually, the bigger it gets, the more static electricity maybe. And you can see the shock just, pshaw. And I was doing a night shift, so I'd be sleeping and then that shock just, pshaw. That's work, and I'd be sweating. So when I tell people I'm working all the time, it's not work. It's work. I think if you were picking up a rock, not even a rock, let's say you're picking up gumdrops, it wouldn't be work. But if you are there, you're working, and that means it wouldn't be fun. Do I make sense? Am I making sense? Am I rambling? You gotta forgive me, it's been a minute. I got just so much to talk about. But we'll keep this short because it's gonna get noisy when I hit this street, and I might start seeing my students. But anyway, the last thing I read, I just finished reading, was last night. Oh wait, before I get into that, I got a 3-year visa. Yeah, I think that was the last time we were talking. I was saying I'm working on the visa. So I got a 3-year, and I asked the dude about getting my permanent residence, and my plan was just to pay everything at one lump sum. He's like, you can't do that. You gotta pay it up. So in 2 years, if I paid every day, then I'd be eligible. According to him, don't be trying to, I know somebody who said it. This is what the man said to me. And he works there. And yeah, but he said 2 years. So I asked him, what if in 1.5 years I decide I don't want to, what I mean pay insurance. You don't get insurance back, but pay pension. Pension, you would get it at some point, but I was asking, if I leave, can I get my pension money? And he said something to the extent, well, Japanese people don't get their pension money back, so I'm not Japanese, buddy. But I hate being in immigration, so I kept the conversation short. I'll get that money back. I will find some loophole if that is what happened. But in 2 years, if I pay everything up, I should be able to get my permanent visa. But I don't even know if that's what I want to do, because Japan is, it's a lonely place, or it's lonely for me. As I said, all I do is work on music, work on beats, read, solitary. It's like I'm in a prison. My own constructed prison. And I don't know if this is the life I would like. I think if I was in the States, I could meet more like-minded me's. I don't know. But there's a line from Jay-Z, you are where you are who you are no matter where you go, player. I butchered it up, but I do remember feeling and acting and saying the same thing when I was in college in Philadelphia, walking around. The other day, I was thinking about this. So the other day, before I came to Japan, I had to get my passport, and I didn't have one. I think I would need my child passport was gone. It disappeared. So I need to get one so I could come out to Japan. From where I lived to where the place was, it was like maybe a 10, 20-minute train ride. But I didn't have train money. I had, if I take the train, I can't eat. If I walk, I can get some macaroni and cheese or some shit. So I remember I was walking for like an hour to get down there. And when I got down there, I wasn't able to do what I set out to do. And I remember thinking, so yeah, this has always been who I've been. But anyway, I read this book just the other day. It's called Surrounded by Idiots. It's funny, a funny title. But basically the premise is everyone's different and you need to learn other people's way of thinking and acting, and it'll help you not be surrounded by idiots. Because ultimately you are the idiot if that's how you feel. Something like that. And it basically puts everyone in the four color categories. Reds are hotheads. Yellows are friendly and happy. Greens are passive, agreeable, and blues are analytical. Most people are a combination of 1 or 2 or 3. It's rare if you're just one. And the other day I was talking to my friend who happens to be a yellow, and I was just saying, you're a yellow. He's like, what's that mean? I'm like, just, some character traits. And he's like, why am I yellow? I'm like, well, one of the character traits is you don't listen. And he was like, why would you say that? And before I could whatever, we get into this big discussion about how these type of tests that categorize people is wrong. And I was just smiling. I was wearing a mask because that's how we talk. But I was smiling because in the book it said that's what a yellow person would say. And in the book it had a conversation with him asking the person about the book how they felt, and the yellow person was saying almost word for word what my friend was saying. And it was funny. I mean, I'm a blue. Red, I don't even know what I am, because reds are hotheads. You'd be like, Matthew, you're a hothead? I can't see it, but I am. Man, one of the worst people, not the worst, customer service. They get it the worst because I never feel served as a customer. And they get, like yesterday, I had to do something. I had to update my banking information. Here's the process. They send you the form, you fill it out, you attach the pictures, you send it back. They send another form back to you. You have to go online and confirm what you just sent to them. And I'm just like, why can't I just come to the bank and do that a one-time thing? And then they also got an app, which is a separate form, same company, but separate form that you got to mail to them, but it's an app. So we're going back. I was on the phone for an hour. An hour. That's my hot-headedness, stubbornness. Blue is like analytical. That might be my meticulous way I make my beats, or the process. Like, I literally didn't make a beat for a week because I was setting up the sample folders. Yellows, sometimes I'm outgoing and friendly and talkative and don't listen. So we're a combination of all of them. But yeah, the book was interesting. I was telling my friend if people read it the way I read it, because that's the key part. You can read it, but you probably will interpret it differently, which it wouldn't have the same effect. But for me, it kind of just lets me know that, we are who we are. That's not an end all be all. you don't necessarily have to change. You know the funniest thing when I be out here, in the morning when I'm walking, I don't wear a mask. When I'm on a train, bus, whatever, I'm wearing a mask. So I'll see another person who's not wearing a mask as we're walking. And as we get close, they like throw up their mask, like looking at me as they weren't wearing their mask either. So they are, and they're looking at me like I'm the plague. I'm walking, the plague. It is I can't wait for Corona to be over. I can't wait for Corona to be over. Because it's just, it is what that is, but like I want to go home for Christmas. It's my time to go home. And I'm working, I'm figuring out what I should do or whatever, but I don't want to be in no hotel for 2 weeks. I don't want to be surrounded by possible people who may be infected, holed up in one. I watch a lot of zombie movies, man. That's how you catch shit. You're quarantined, and the next thing you know. So I don't know what I'm gonna do. 'Cause I'm supposed to go home. I'm not sure about it, but you'll know when I know. Tickets are relatively priced. Man, if I could walk home, I would. If you know me, I'd rather do that. Swim halfway and walk the other half. But I don't think that's gonna happen. But yeah, that's everything, I guess. That's everything that's been happening in a nutshell. Moving forward, I'm gonna get really serious with the music, beat making. But I gotta figure out what works for me. Don't expect any tight beats. You're gonna get a me beat. Music, I got 3 albums I'm working on. I'll tell you what they are now. There's a Christmas album. Every year I'm like, I want to make a Christmas album. Last year I spent a month and a half working on the samples, but I never got around to it. So, but they're there now, so it'll be more easier. I'm working on this kind of, I just don't give a fuck album. Just gonna do whatever. Because from my understanding, well, and this is why that comes about. I dropped an album. It was pure hip hop coming from the heart, and nothing really happened with it. And it hurts, man. That's probably one of the reasons I wasn't like active, because you put your soul and blood into all that shit. But life goes on, right? It's not forever. So now I'm just gonna do whatever. And then someone's gonna be like, I can remember, they'll say something like, man, you now I don't know if I'll do auto-tune. That's just whatever. But just random shit, because I can. See what happens. It'll be one of those songs that gives me my little plackety plaque, and it's like, man, people who don't know my catalog be like, but yeah. So that's that album. That's like a September thing. Working on it during the summer break. I want to do a Halloween album. Just some horrorcore shit, killing and blah. I always wanted to, those 3 albums, and I want to flood like these. I'm still working on that concept, but basically it'll be like I'm rapping as I always been doing, but the raps freestyling, flowing, but they'll be packaged like little albums. I'm looking at services now where I could just throw them up on iTunes and Spotify. So just keep dropping albums and freestyles. Something should come of that. Oh wow, let me go back. So I forgot. A while ago, someone reached out to me to write game music, like spit some lyrics, write the lyrics for someone else to sing a rap on their game. Like, can you do it? I'm like, yeah. They sent me the brief. They hit me with a DCMA, or what do you call it? NDA, non-disclosure agreement. All right, you serious? Signed some paperwork. That's why I didn't. I don't know if I would have showed it anyway, because that's me. But it took me like 30 seconds. It took me like a good 30 minutes to write the rap after reading all the information they sent me. And I was detailed. And I was like, on page 37, it says this. Is this? He's like, I don't know. Okay, all right. So then I send it off, and he's like, you can't say these words. And I'm thinking, well, if I couldn't say them words, how come that wasn't in the documents? I wouldn't have said it if I knew. But it's just a word. I could change a word as easily as whatever. And then we're going back and forth. And the whole time, because, I delivered it, and he's just like, can you do this? Can you do that? And I was a little frustrated because it's like, well, if you wanted me to do those things, you should have explained it clearly. So then at one point, he's like, all right, I'm just going to pay you double because you're working so hard. And I always remember back to when I used to work at the cup factory. That's working. Music stuff, photography stuff, teaching, it's work, but it's a different kind of work. Anyway, so I got double for that. So basically for about an hour and some change, I got $500. And I got my credit, my name, Matthew Rhyming Guide, and that's what I'm putting for now, is on some game, which is pretty dope, And the other day, someone reached out like, hey man, we need someone to freestyle for 5 minutes. Can you do it? Like, yeah. He's like, we'll pay you $300 cash. I'm like, okay. And then he started going into details. I'm like, wait, hold up. What time is this supposed to happen? He's like, 6 o'clock on Wednesday. Now, truth be told, if he said 6 o'clock on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday might have worked, but I work every day. And it's hella hard to get a day off without being sick or using your secret weapons. You can hit them with family problems once or twice. Family emergency. They can't say shit about that. The company are like, fuck your fam, you gotta come to work, is not a company you should be working at. You can use the COVID one. I got COVID. But then you get that day off, but then you can't come in for the next 2 weeks. And you gotta do some tests, which costs money. You can hit them with the diarrhea. I got the diarrhea. It's uncomfortable to talk about. But if you can do it, if you're a female, you can hit them with the woman problems, unless you got a female boss who's just tough, like, suck that shit up. But I didn't want to do that, so I said, I work, I can probably get there at 9 o'clock. Oh, I can get there at 9 o'clock. But he's like, nah, we need you there at least 7. So I lost $300 because I had to work. But there was this weird calm about it because A, I have a job. It's not like I needed the money. Like, oh, if I don't get this money. B, I know more opportunities will come up when I start being more active. I mean, that was just a random shit. But the more... But yeah. It's where we at here? We're at 28 minutes. And you remember I said I'm walking to work. I've been walking for 28 minutes. That's how I bang out my audiobooks. Walking. And I should be listening. I got a new one today. It's from this producer S1 who made some tracks for Kanye. I bought his sample pack and I saw he wrote a book. And I'm always curious about beat makers. I finished Timbaland's book a couple weeks ago. It was interesting. I know I'm jumping around, but that's what I do. In Timbaland's book, my takeaway or my thing was, I know Timbaland, I don't know him no, but after the fact. But he was talking about how he was signed to Jodeci's Dante, whatever. What are the Jodeci? The Jodeci group, the dude Dante, I think his name's Dante. And it was like a sweatshop for beat makers. And the dude would like hit people and put them in the hospital. Nobody was getting money. And Timbaland is just like, well, I think it was Timothy before Timbaland. And he was just like, I don't know what I should do. And then Missy was all like, well, actually, Missy's the one that set it all up. Like, Tim was in his house doing what he does. Anyway, I don't want to go into, you got to read the book, but it was just interesting to see how it works. And when I finished it, I'm like, I wish I had a Missy in my life. There's no one who's like Missy and her little group went out to go sing for Jodeci. And when Jodeci's like, yeah, you're dope, we'll sign you. She's like, I insist that Timothy comes along with me. There's no other way it's not gonna happen without him. She didn't have to do that. I ain't never met anyone who would put me in such a package. Yeah, Matthew gotta come. It's more like, hey Matthew, I'll go ahead and hopefully I'll come back for you. And I'm still here waiting. But so I thought that was cool. And then he talked about how there was this one part where he was talking about he saw this woman, and he's like, I want her to be my wife. And he talked about the whole thing with her. And then when you listen to the song with him and Promiscuous Girl, it's basically the same. It to me, it sounds like he's writing about that situation. You would have to read the book, hear the song, yada yada yada. But yeah, man, I'm gonna end here because I want to listen to some of my audiobook today. We got like another 15 minutes. But yeah, man, videos are gonna be coming. I'm gonna be dropping some music. As always, thank you guys for watching. And don't be making fun of the glasses, man. Dr. Evil is for real. Hey, look, it's a squirrel. Can you see the squirrel? Let me see. I can't. Wait. All right, maybe can I flip? I can't flip it. Well, trust me, there's a squirrel here. And you say, so? Well, in Japan, squirrels are like rare. They're like unicorns. And no one ever sees them. I see them. I almost think they're like, I see dead people. I see dead squirrels. Because no one ever sees squirrels. I see them all the time. I almost think it's a good luck thing. But anyway, I'm out. And thank you for listening. I'm going to do some live streams. As I was saying, I got a new phone, unlimited data. I even got a new microphone, or I got my old microphone back. Because freestyling with the headset is one thing, but with the mic, it's another thing. So be safe, be easy, and till next time, Ryman.